Hi, Travis with Splunk here. Working on a search in my home lab where I'm looking at my collected Proxmox data and the VM container CPU utilization. Now, the one thing about the data when it comes in, I only see the VM ID 101, 102, 103, and I don't see a host name. So I wanted to some way convert that VM ID to a host name. And I started going down the eval route. And when I created this eval, I decided that I didn't want to type out that eval across every search and dashboard and alert that I would create. So I created a macro. That's what you can see right here with the backtick Proxmox VMID to hostname backtick. And if you've never seen a backtick or don't know what that is, on your keyboard in the upper left-hand corner by the one key, that's the backtick. Now, for anybody that's probably going, I could use a lookup table to do the same thing. Yes, you can use a lookup table and create a lookup table to do that automatic lookup. But that defeats the purpose of me creating another video to teach you about macros and how useful they can be. Let me jump over to the documentation and show you more about macros. And I'll make sure to put all the links below for anything I show here. Maybe not the picture of the keyboard, but here is our documentation for search macros. So you can go in here and read more about it, especially if I don't cover something. But documentation, and I will go show this little Control Shift E so you can see what the macro is actually doing. And then there is a article on Splunk Lantern. If you haven't seen Splunk Lantern, definitely go check out that platform. There's a bunch of use cases where employees of Splunk have put out articles, but they do have a video as well explaining search macros, how to create, and maybe do. They may go in and show you more stuff than I'm going to show you today. I don't know. I haven't watched the video myself, so maybe I should watch the video. Let's go back to my search. And why am I using a macro? Why do I like macros? It's because if I need to make when I build out this macro, let me hit that Control Shift D and I'll make sure I'm clicked in there, Control Shift E. When I was building this out, I started building out this eval, and I have case, create a new field called host name, and then case, if VMID equals this, call it this. If it's 101, call it this, it's 102, and so on. And then I did an eval of host name. Show me the host name. If you don't have a host name, show me the ID number. So if I stand up a new device and I forget to come in here and update my macro or update my searches, dashboards, and stuff, but just update the macro, I'll see an ID number going, hey, that's a new device that I didn't know about that got stood up on my Proxmox server. I need to go update my search macro. And that's the beauty of macros inside of Splunk. You take that chunk of SPL that I've created here with the two evals, and I don't have to go into every or find every search dashboard and report alerts, all that to update them all. I just go update the macro with the new information and it automatically updates all of my dashboards without me having to find them all. And and I actually copied this, and that's why I created the macro, because I copied this and I went over to another search and I went, I want the same thing over here. Let me paste this in here. And I went, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to do this. Because if I do this, that means if I update that, it's going to uh, cause me all kinds of problems. I can run this and it'll work fine, or I come over here and copy just the macro name and cleans up your search a little bit when you're looking at it. And I can just replace this whole thing with just the macro name and rerun it. And there we go. I have my host name, so I know which 107 is. I know what 109. Yeah, that was, from a previous video, the Hall YouTube Libre chat. I haven't deleted that container, but it's not running right now. There's no resources being used. I still need to delete that one. And I can easily identify which one to go in to Proxmox, which I have the ID number, but I can visually see the host name. Now, how do I create a macro? I've got, I come back here, I've got this. There's nothing here, save as, just searches and whatnot. What you have to do, and what I had to do, was come up to settings. Now, this is 10.4. So if you haven't seen the new UI, you are seeing it now. There is some changes, like I can close this menu and open it up and whatnot. And off to the right-hand side here is a menu for all your apps that are installed or visible. But at the top here with this little cog, I can click on settings. Go find the settings if you're using an older version of Splunk. And then go find advanced search. I'm not going to do it from here. Yeah, I can do it. Go to advanced search. That will open up the advanced search area. Click on search macros, and you can go in here and see other macros. Delete this one. We're going to recreate that. But you can create other macros or see other macros that have been created, see how they're doing it. You can use tokens in macros with your dashboards. There's a lot of cool things that you can do. I think you can even use macros within macros. I've seen that before. So definitely play around with that. How do I create the macro? Click new search macro. Give it a title. So let's say Proxmox VMID mapping. Call it that this time. I'm going to go back to my search, and I want all of this. That's all I did was copy this. Control C on a Windows computer, and then definition. I put in my definition. Now, if you want to mess around with these other settings or want to know more information, go back to our documentation. That's all I did for this macro, was go in there and do that. I put it in the destination app search. You can always check that. You can also disable. I could have just cloned the other one because I know it works. And that one's actually, I see something I did different that's going to cause a problem. Actually, I wonder. So if you notice in this Proxmox VMI to hostname, I don't have a pipe in front of this eval, but I have a pipe in front of the one I just created. Let's go see what happens when what did I call that? I call that mapping, right? VMID. Let's copy this. Control C. So just in case, if you do something like that, because as soon as I do that, and depending on how you want it to look, it's going to give me an error message because I already have the pipe in the macro. So if I take this out and hit enter, it should run fine. So you can include the pipe, or if you'd rather not to, and you want to know that an eval is happening at that macro, I mean, make sure and don't do the same thing I just did right there. And we can come back in here and make adjustments to this macro and remove that. Then hit save. And now I would come back over to, there it is. I can come back over here, rerun this, and it'll run fine. Because I removed the pipe out of the macro and just put it here. So if I want to do control pipe and have a nice organization of my evals and everything else or what's going on, I can do that. And then, of course, this is, once again, if I want it back over, if I want it here and I want to come over here, I can update this one and we'll make the changes across both searches. Hopefully you found this helpful. Learning more about macros and how to create them and why they're there and where to find more information. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. And as always, happy spelunking.